if you've been feeling uncertain about life lately, or maybe questioning your goals because you fully don't resonate with them anymore, or feeling like you're in between like an old version of self and a new version of self, welcome. Let's talk about the transits that's happening this month, specifically the total solar eclipse that is happening on August 12th in Leo, because this is all about identity, self-expression, and visibility. And I want to share with you 3 things you can release with this transit to be able to fully step into next month, fully ready for the new energies, the new ideals, the new thoughts, all of the goodness that will be coming in. Before we get into the video, I just want to say, when I talk about releasing energies with these transits, I just want to make you aware that we are naturally releasing things. Naturally, things come up to the surface for us to be consciously aware of. I know in the healing community, especially the spiritual healing community, we'll seek out spiritual mentors, guides, inner child healing, shadow work, all of these things to start digging up what needs to be fixed. And I'm very, very loud when I say you do not have to always do these things. And really, you don't have to do these things at all. As someone who has spent years on a spiritual journey, I've come to a good point where I feel like I can truly be the observer and allow these things to come up, because they were always coming up naturally. Our soul knows what it's doing in this lifetime. And usually when we're feeling uncertainty, or we're feeling like we need to heal parts of ourselves, we will seek out a spiritual mentor, a psychic, a healer to help us with this. But I want you to know that you are the powerful being steering that ship, and you know what you need, and that's why you get it in divine timing when you need it. I like to say that in my experience, and what I teach my community, is that when you are ready for a certain healer or guide or mentor in your life, they will appear, and they're not there to tell you what to do. They're just there to help you walk on your path. I like to think of myself as a shadow walker because a lot of times I'm helping people through transitions or those tougher moments. And I've experienced them myself. I've been down deep, girl, down deep. And that's why I shine so bright. But I just wanted to say that, because when I talk about the 3 things you can release, I'm really just saying be conscious of how you're feeling emotionally, and what memories, stories, identities, feelings that may be coming up right now for you to bring attention to, and how do you want to feel coming out of this. So with all that being said, let's get into the first thing that you can release this month, and that is releasing your old identities that you have outgrown. This can be difficult, especially because when we start to change and grow, this can make people around us be like, who the heck is this? One day you're drinking coffee, today you're not drinking coffee. Like, it can make you feel like, am I crazy? Am I changing up? You may feel like an imposter, like this doesn't feel fully me, and that's because you are growing. And a sign that I like to look for when I'm always transforming. Like, I'm a Scorpio. I got a lot of placements in Scorpio. And I'm also have a stellium that is a Sagittarius. So I'm always expanding and changing. And not everyone, I've outgrown a lot of people. I don't have many friends, and I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. But I say all that to say, one thing I notice when people are uncomfortable with your growth, they will constantly remind you of past versions of yourself, past mistakes, past things that you did. And this is usually because they are not on a growth journey themselves. And when you're growing and you're becoming brighter and lighter and full of that divine juice, okay, it triggers them. It triggers them, and it has nothing to do with you. And those are the people you want to keep at a distance, or just cut them off completely, because when you have those type of people around you, you will shrink. you will shrink because you don't want them to feel uncomfortable or you don't want them to see you differently. And I would say the people that are rooting for you, and I'm not just talking about people that be like bringing up your past and like just leaving it there. Because sometimes people can be like, oh my goodness, you have grown so much. I remember when we used to do this and now look at you. Those type of people feel inspired by your growth and they're like intrigued and want to be a part of that. They may reference the past just to be show the growth, or people that are rooting for you, encouraging you, like, oh my goodness, look at you, you're doing big things, like I need to do this. Those are the type of people you want to have on your side as you release your old identity. So the second thing I would recommend releasing are emotional attachments to the past. This can look like, for example, I'll use myself. I've been divorced before, and I've been remarried. I am remarried, and I was very adamant about having my own financial stability, my own thing. And this is good. This is good. Like, everyone should have their own thing. But the way I was going about it was definitely still referencing a past version of myself, a past experience. And it let me know that I had an emotional attachment still to that experience, because those emotions were still pushing me forward today. It was like, I don't need a man. I got this on my own. And it's very coming from a place of wounded woman instead of empowered woman, where it's like, I don't need a man, but I would love to have a man, and I love my husband and all of these things. It was more so like, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to experience that type of tower moment, and I have to get it for myself because I can't trust nobody. That is a strong emotional attachment, and it took me a couple years to dig out of it, and it wasn't something I noticed immediately. I would say it took me like 3 to 4 years to realize, like, oh, I'm still reacting from that place of hurt and trauma, and this is causing a little bit of headbutting within my current marriage, because it's like, you can't tell me nothing. I'm a grown woman and I make my own money. like that's not good in a partnership. Everybody, you coexist, you compromise. That's what partnership is, whether it's a spouse, whether it's family, whether it's friends. That's what compromise is. So, and that's what partnership is. So emotional attachment can look like that. And I will say, with emotional attachments, if you're building your life based on that old identity, that old version of yourself, and that emotional attachment, that's how people can remain powerful over you and remain having power over you, because you're still reacting to that experience, to that person. When you have outgrown it and detached from that experience, you're able to respond to the person. You don't get so emotional or dysregulated. You're able to hold your ground. You're able to talk about it without putting yourself all the way back in the experience like it is happening right then and right there, because the experience could have happened like 5, 10, 20 years ago. But when you talk about it, it's like you're still living that experience in the present day. And that lets you know that you still have an emotional attachment to something that happened in the past. And this is why healing is not a linear thing. Our emotions are portals, and they're very powerful, and they can take us back to a time and make us feel like a little girl or a little boy in that time, or the hurt woman that was left, or the scarred friend that was betrayed. So you want to see what memories, what stories, what emotions are coming up, because that will let you know, like, okay, I'm still holding on to this from that time. Why? What are you showing me? Okay, I was hurt in that situation. How has this been controlling my narrative today? How has this been controlling my identity? Because if I lived in that identity as a divorced woman with 4 children, then that would be a part of the main part of my story, instead of a woman who healed and evolved and became an entrepreneur and a more loving mother, daughter, friend, and more self-aware, like that would take over the narrative, and that would take over the narrative of how I create my life. So the final thing I want to share with you to release this month is the fear of being seen differently. This goes into 1 and 2 because usually when we're shape-shifting and becoming better versions of ourselves, we fear being viewed differently from our close family and friends. But that should not deter you from being viewed differently, because when you fully see yourself, you start to call in the people that really resonates with you. I'm going to use this plant right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me bring it closer. This is an orchid. It's a beautiful orchid that I got the other day with my daughter. And the reason why I bring it up is because there's so many different flowers in the store, just like there's different shirts, and not everything resonates with you. There was some flowers there that I was like, I don't like these. These are not ones that I would pick. Same goes for in the store. There's like 10, 15 shirts, but you only like 3 or 4 of them. Well, that doesn't make the other shirts less pretty or valuable or cute to somebody else. It just means it doesn't resonate with you. This goes the same with us as individuals. We do not resonate with everyone. That doesn't make us less important or invalid or lovable. That just means that is not the person that we resonate with. And that's what makes life beautiful. Even in nature, not everything resonates with each other, right? I was meditating one day, and the divine told me that, because I was like, where's my people? Where's my soul family? I want to be around all my soul family. And the divine was like, light, if all the light come together in one area, who's going to light up the darkness? Who's going to help those people that need to be helped in those lower times? Or who's going to help shift the world? If we all are surrounded by people like us, that's not always good. Because 1, we don't have anyone to challenge us, because challenge means we grow and evolve and really question ourselves and reflect like, is that a good idea? Because if we all think it's a good idea, but we haven't checked in with the people that don't really resonate with us, then it's like, okay, maybe it's not, it's a good idea. And then that's how we end up with chaos and war, because everybody got together and thought it was a good idea, and we become disconnected from humanity as a whole. This is common with the wealthy. The wealthy gets with other wealthy people, and then they do a lot of things together, and they move together, they work together, and they become disconnected. There's a word for it, and I can't think of the word that we use online a lot, but I'm just going to say disconnected, because that's all I can think about right now. And they don't see what's really happening within the world. They don't see the grief, the struggle, the pain that a lot of people go through, because they're just not in it. So it's important that we make sure that we don't talk ourselves out of being seen just because we're differently, or growing just because we may outgrow people, because it's a beautiful experience, and God will always put the right people in your life. You may not have hundreds of people that are with you walking side by side, day by day, but you at least have 2 or 3. I will say anytime I've outgrown someone or lost friends, there's always been one friend that I could have where I live, because I've moved a lot. I love moving. I've always had at least 1, if not 2 friends that I can hang out with, and I'm okay with that, because I trust that that's all I need. Really, that is all I need, because I'm a busy woman. But just remember that the fact that you're growing means that there's more of yourself that you have not explored, and there's more of life that's wanting to come to you. But in order to fully grasp it and allow it in, you have to allow yourself to experience the uncomfortability of becoming someone new. So to wrap everything up, the 3 things you should release this month is the identity that you have outgrown, the emotional attachments that are keeping you connected to the past, and lastly, the fear of being seen differently. I leave you with one question, and that question is, if you weren't afraid of disappointing the past version of you, or confusing the people who knew that past version of you, Who would you allow yourself to become today? And don't rush to answer this question. Allow it to sit and simmer, because this is not about rushing to build a new identity. This is about allowing what needs to come up to be seen, to be released, so that the new expression and more authentic expression of yourself can move through you going forward. Lastly, I have created a guide. If you want to go to my website or in breath.com, I have a banner at the top. You can click it. You can get this free guide to help you during this month, because there is a lot of emotions, a lot of shifts, a lot of endings happening. And I will also link it below as well. I just want to say thank you so much to all the beautiful halos that have joined this community. And thank you so much for being within my aura. I hope this video helped you a little bit today. And until next time, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye for now.